Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all for today Nectar of Instruction. So today we'll be doing a very important verse, and I'll also summarize a little bit what we have done so far. And especially today I will discuss a little bit on the journey from Sradha to Prema. Okay, so let us start today's class with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Deham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Mitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Desh Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we have been doing Nectar of Instruction. And if you remember, we had talked about this in our beginning. So this is the journey from Sradha to Prema actually. Nectar of Instruction starts with the very fundamental of Bhakti, the beginning of Bhakti, and takes us to the highest stage of Bhakti. Right? So today we are discussing this journey, and in fact we have already reached text 9 to 11. So today, since we'll be starting the last 3 verses, 9 to 11, which talks about Bhava and Prema. So we'll be discussing text 9, but also I thought let's discuss a little bit in detail about this whole journey from Shraddha to Asakti. Okay. So it has been very nicely explained in a book known as Madhurya Kadimbini. Okay. Has anyone of you heard of this book? Raise your hands on Zoom. madhurya kadimbini. Okay, Bhavagrahi Prabhu. Okay. So yes, ISKCON Bikaner. Okay. So today we'll be discussing a little bit about this whole journey of Shraddha to Prem. Yes. So okay. So can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. So so this is a very beautiful pictorial depiction of the entire Madhuri Kadambini and the different stages of bhakti, the blossoming of the Bhakti Lata. So we all know that from Rupa Goswami's, when Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami, what he said, the famous verse, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jeev, Guru Krishna Kripa Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. So we all innumerable living, we are roaming in this material world. And one very fortunate person may actually get this Bhakti Lata Bij. So this in Madhurya Kadimbini, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is a great acharya. He gives a very detailed explanation. It's a not a very big book. It's a very short book. He gives a very detailed explanation about how bhakti is independent. So how bhakti comes in our heart. So he explains very logically with reference to all the scriptures that bhakti is ahetuki. It's not caused by any material cause. Nobody can say that, okay, I have done a lot of punya karma, so I'm eligible to get bhakti, or I am very elevated in jnana, so I should get bhakti, or I have done a lot of tapasya, I'm eligible for bhakti. No. He proves that the only cause of bhakti is bhakti. That means what? Bhakti in the heart of a devotee can make another person devotee. That means bhakti transfers from heart to heart. It's a heart to heart transfer. So Bhakti Devi stays in the heart of a Vaishnava. And then that bhakti is transferred from the heart of that Vaishnava to another person's heart. Therefore, it says, Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Only by the mercy of a Guru or Vaishnava we get this Bhakti Lata Bij in our heart. There is no other cause. With our own endeavor, we can never get this Bhakti Lata Bij. So we get this Bhakti Lata Bij by the mercy of Vaishnavas. Now, once we get this Bhakti Lata Bij, what we should do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shravana Kirtal Jara Karaho Sinchan. We have to nourish this Bhakti Lata with the water of Shravan and Kirtan. Chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And reading Srimad Bhagavatam and the 9 process of bhakti we do, then the Bhakti Lata will grow and grow and grow. So now it's very important for us to understand that how the Bhakti Lata is growing, how it grows. From the small seed, it becomes a small plant, creeper, and it grows and grows. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, ultimately this Bhakti Lata reaches Golok Vrindavan and gives a fruit of Krishna Prem. But my dear friends, this is a long journey. It's not very easy. But it's easy also. Depends on how serious we are, how committed we are. But certainly we should know how we can reach there. What are the milestones? It's very important for us to understand. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very beautifully explained. So this in the last class also we studied the whole journey from Shraddha to Prem. So this is the field of the heart. We have the Bhakti Lata and the creeper grows. So beginning is Shraddha. Then we have Sadhu Sangha. Then we do Bhajanikriya. Then we have Anartha Nivritti. Then we come to Nishtha. Then we come to Ruchi. Then we come to Asakti. Then we come to Bhava. And then we come to, what's the final stage? Prema.
Prema.
All love for Krishna. So now you see the whole journey has been very nicely presented in this poster, very beautifully. So this we know, we already discussed. Now we want to detail. Now, what are the different aspects of what happens in Sadhu Sangha? What are the different sub classifications of the stage of Bhajan Kriya? And what exactly is Anartha Nivritti? What are the different obstacles? Then what are the symptoms of Nishtha? Then Ruchi. So are you all interested to understand this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we'll of course cannot go in detail because this will require another course altogether. But still, in very short, I'll try to explain this various stages of bhakti and the subcategories, right? So before we start text 9 today, so let us spend some time in understanding the various stages, and then we will proceed to text number 9 of Nectar of Instruction. So, all of us, we know that Sadhu Sangha is very important. We associate with devotees. And then as we associate with devotees, in this stage, there are two symptoms. One is Kleshagni and Shubhada. So what happens in Kleshagni? All our miseries are destroyed, right? So basically, there are 5 types of miseries: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Let me zoom in. Okay. And there are 4 types of sin: prarabdha, papa, aprarabdha papa, uta papa, bija papa. So all these things are destroyed in this of Sadhu Sangha. And Shubhada, that means bhakti bestows all auspiciousness. So all these good qualities like kindness, kripa, kshama, satya, so all these qualities start developing in our heart. We start developing distaste for objects unrelated to Krishna, and we start attraction for things related to Krishna. Dhairya, Gambhirya, Amanitva. So all these qualities, they gradually develop. So that's Sadhu Sangha. And then of course, what do? We do Bhajanikriya. So Sadhu Sangha, of course, it's a continuous thing. We do all throughout. But then as we associate with sadhus, what's the next step? Sadhus will tell us to do Bhajanikriya. We practice the process of devotional service very seriously. Now, what are the stages of Bhajanikriya? That is something very interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this, my dear friends, when I first heard it, I was so, it's like you'll exactly get to know you are in which stage now. It's such a beautiful such a beautiful guideline made by acharyas. Let's go one by one. So Utsahamai. So as we are doing bhajan, so the first stage is Utsahamai, initial enthusiasm. What happens initially when we start doing bhakti? We are so enthusiastic. Oh, this is such a nice process. I have become a pure devotee. I have got taste for chanting. And we feel so, as if, that I have become Mahabhagavat today. So that's initial, first 1 or 2 months we feel like that. Or first 1 year, or maybe. It depends how long this goes on. But this is the first stage of Bhajan Kriya that we feel over. Of course, Utsaha is good. But this is Utsaha, this is too much of enthusiasm, like the initial kind of. So we think as if we have become pure devotees. So that's the first stage of Bhajan Kriya. Okay, then what happens? Ghana, Tarala, thick and thin. So what happens in this stage? Sometimes the devotee is very enthusiastic, chanting a lot of rounds, getting up early in the morning, doing a lot of seva. But then for some time, again for a few months, down. No enthusiasm. Then chanting goes down. 16 to 8, 8 to 4, you know what? Maybe with a lot of difficulty, he tries to do the 16 rounds. So this ghana taral, thick. Ghana matlab very thick. That means sometimes the sadhana is very good, sometimes sadhana is very bad, like a sinusoidal curve, you know, up and down, up and down. So that's this stage known as ghana tarala. So once we cross this stage, ghana tarala, then there's another stage that comes, which is vyudha vikalpa, oscillating resolve. That means the devotee is very confused, you know, what to do. Especially, for example, he thinks, well, should I marry or should I remain a brahmachari? Should I leave home? Should I go to Vrindavan, leave everything? Or should I be in home? So these kind of questions keep coming to the mind, right? Confusions, doubts. What should I do? What I should not do? So this is Vyudha Vikalpa. He looks at different options. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. So he's confused. That's Vyudha Vikalpa. I'm sure you can actually see yourself where, you know, one is. Then comes Vishaya Sangara, struggling with sense enjoyment. Now, again, you know, we never know. In someone's life, maybe Utsaha may last for a month or for a year. Ghanatarala may last for many years or maybe for a few months. It all depends. But these are the stages. Number 4 stage is Vishaya Sangara. What happens here is there's a battle. You know, as you practice Krishna consciousness, now because of our past sanskaras, we have the tendency to enjoy. So we struggle sometimes, you know. At one side, I want to become nice devotee, I want to do nice sadhana. At the other side, my mind is pulling me towards sense gratification. Have any of you been through this stage or are going through this stage?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So we can see. So this is another stage. Especially, this is a very difficult step to overcome. Struggling with sense enjoyment. Because the devotee knows that, okay, this is bhakti, I should do that. At the same time, somehow, it's very difficult for him to give up sense enjoyment. So that struggle goes on. Struggling with sense enjoyment. Then comes Niyamakshama. What happens? He takes some vows. Okay, from today I will chant 25 rounds. From today I'll chant 32 rounds. I'll take prasad only once a day. I will do Nirjala Ekadashi. I will chant 64 rounds on Ekadashi. But what happens? He does once, twice, and again gives up the promise. So this is that stage where a devotee makes a lot of promises, but sometimes he's not inability to uphold vows. He cannot uphold his vows. But at least he's making vows, that is good. And then comes Taranga Rangini. So once one crosses all these stages, mind you, it's very long. It may take many years for one to pass through all the stages. Thick and thin, sometimes you practice, sometimes you don't. Then Vyudha Vikalpa, oscillating. Vishaya Sangara, it may take a long time. We struggle with our sense enjoyment. Then we take different vows. We are sometimes able to follow, sometimes not able to follow. The last stage of Bhajanikriya is actually Taranga Rangini, enjoying the mundane benefits of bhakti. So what happens as we do bhakti, sometimes we get material benefits called puja labh pratishtha. Sometimes we get material benefits. You know, many times devotees in India, they do bhakti for some time and suddenly they get a visa to US. They're called for some ISKCON temple or, you know, somewhere they're called, or sometimes devotees, they suddenly do very good in business or they get a very good job. So these are like side effects of bhakti. We should not think, "Arey, bahut acha hua, you know, I got such a nice facility." No. So if you start enjoying that, or if you think, "Oh, this is the goal of bhakti," then you're gone. That stage is called Taranga Rangini. There will be some waves, you know, like ups and downs, and they'll carry you forward. I mean, you'll get very good material success. Puja, people will adore you. People will say, "Arey, such a great devotee." People will come and touch your feet. I remember once one devotee was joking that You can become the biggest businessman. You can become the a very big scholar, Nobel laureate. But people will not come and touch your feet. Have you seen any businessman people are going and touching feet? No. But you become a sadhu, you take saffron, people will come and touch your feet. So, but doesn't mean if someone starts enjoying, oh, now you see, I got the result of my bhakti. Itna mehnat kiya, I struggled so hard for bhakti. See, now people are coming and touching my feet. Now I have so many followers. Now I have so many likes on Facebook. My YouTube videos have thousands of views now. This is called Taranga Rangini. You start enjoying the benefits, the side benefits of bhakti. And if you start enjoying that, then you'll remain stuck there. You cannot make further advancement. These are all tricks, like by Krishna. Okay, let me see whether he wants me or he wants his material benefits. So if you're happy with material benefits, gone. There only your Bhakti Lata will stop growing because you're happy at that stage. But no, intelligent person will think, no, that is not my goal. I am not here to enjoy the mundane benefits of bhakti. Then will come the stage of anartha nivritti, when actually the obstacles to bhakti are removed. Actually, as you practice doing Bhajanikriya, the anarthas are getting removed. But specifically, what are the anarthas? There are some obstacles born of past sinful acts. They are called duskritotha anartha. Again, the 5 things that we studied below also during Kleshagni time. That's avidya, asmita, false ego, raga, attachment for material things, dvesha, hatred, abhinivesha, absorption in worldly objects. These are because of our past sinful activities. These anarthas are there within us. Then there's anarthas which are due to past activities. That means if you have done something, some punya karma, they also give rise to some anarthas. We'll have desire to go to a heavenly planet, or we'll have a desire for liberation. So these are called sukrutotha anarthas. Then third is bhakti utha anartha. That means when we don't perform bhakti properly, like I said, that Taranga Rangini, when we start enjoying puja, la, pratishtha, we are after worldly gain, we want people to worship us, people to adore us, that's a big anartha, bhakti utha anartha. Fourth one, the most dangerous is aparadha utha anartha, obstacles born of offenses. See, in bhakti, we always say that you chant one name of Krishna, all the papa will be destroyed. So, papa anartha is not a big thing. But what is more dangerous? Aparad. You understand the difference between papa and aparad? I hope you know that. See, papa means some sinful act I do, right? I break some law of, given in the scriptures. I do something wrong against the scriptures. That's papa. Like having some illicit connections, or eating something we're not supposed to eat, or something like that. That's called papa. So papa is bad, but the bhakti is so powerful that papa can be immediately destroyed. Like Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam shanam braja aham pam sarva papebhi mokshasami masaja. But what is more dangerous in bhakti is aparad, offenses. And especially offenses against holy name, nam aparad. That is one of the biggest obstacles in the process of bhakti. So this aparad uttha anartha. So that means when we do this when we do aparad against holy name, then it gives rise to certain anarthas, and they actually create a hindrance in the process of bhakti. Yes, the 10 namaprads. So you see, so sometimes we hear people asking a question. Prabhuji, it is said that by chanting one holy name, one gets cleared of all offenses, all papa. One can attain Krishna Prema. I have been chanting so many rounds, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why it is not happening? Is this process working or not working? This doubt comes to your mind? Can you raise your hands on Zoom? Sometimes the doubt comes in your mind, yes or no? Okay. Yes, glad that many devotees, yeah, this doubt comes in my mind also sometimes. Yes, what's happening for so many years we're chanting, but we are not getting Krishna Prem, we are not getting attachment for Krishna. Hmm. So the answer is, here because of offenses, Nam Aparad, because we are doing offenses. So the holy name is not happy with us. Therefore, the holy name doesn't reveal to us. The holy name doesn't remove all our sinful reactions, because holy name is Krishna himself. But when you offend Krishna in the form of holy name hides itself. It doesn't give us its full effects. This is the root reason. Please, all the devotees, please understand that why we are not getting full benefits of chanting is because of aparad. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Bahu janma kari yadi shravana kirtan tabu to na pai Krishna pade premadhan. One may keep on doing bhajan for many, many lifetimes, but if he does aparad, then he will not get Krishna. So, of course, all the devotees must be knowing the 10 aparads against the holy name, 10 offenses against holy name. So the first offense is blaspheming the devotees of the Lord. That's a very dangerous offense. When we blaspheme devotees, when we criticize devotees, when we try to harm devotees of the Lord, that's a very, very severe offense against holy name. Then there are many others, like considering the names of demigods to be equal to independent of the Supreme Lord, to disobey the orders of spiritual master. That is also very dangerous. Seventh offense is also another dangerous thing. When we commit sin on the strength of chanting, that means what? Purposefully, I commit sin and I think, no problem. I have this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Whole day I can sin. Night once I will say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All my sin will be destroyed. This mentality is an offense. Yes, one may be sinful, but he should repent and beg to the holy name that please forgive me. I don't want to commit this sin again. But in the mind is thinking, no problem. I can do this sin every day and every day I can chant. That offense is very bad. Somebody may be drinking liquor, but he may be chanting and praying to Krishna, oh Krishna, please help me to give up this habit. That is not an offense. But somebody is doing purposefully, I can drink one bottle and then I can do one mala. Okay, balance. So this is an offense. This is called seventh offense against holy name. Namno balat asyahi papabuddhi. And being inattentive while chanting, not chanting seriously, chanting casually. So these are the aparads which actually block our progress in the path of bhakti. Okay, then there are some more obstacles. There are some more steps in the process of unearthing everything. Like I said, laya, drowsiness. So what happens when we are chanting, when we are hearing lectures, we feel drowsy, sleepy. Then vikshepa, inattention. We are chanting, but so many thoughts are coming in the mind. So many material things. Oh, today I have to do this, today I have to do this. This person told me this. This I will reply to this. I got this email, I'll reply like this. So in the mind itself, we do everything. Oh, this WhatsApp message I have got. Oh, I have not replied that. I have to check that. It's called distraction, vikshepa. Right? Then,
Prabhuji, what 10 namaprad ke alawa, is there any other aparad?
Actually, it said seva aparad is there, but seva aparad is easy to overcome. Like it is said when we are doing deity worship, then it is there some process like we chant one chapter of Bhagavad Gita or we chant Mahamantras, we are forgiven of those aparads. So basically, like we have Nam aparad, seva aparad, dham aparad. So dham aparad and seva aparad are not that difficult to overcome. But main difficulty is Nam aparad, and within Nam aparad, especially Vaishnava aparad. That's very, very dangerous. Okay, so
three kinds of aparad. So nama aparad, seva aparad, and dham aparad.
Yes. So this is laya, then vikshepa, then pratipatti, incompetence. Then comes kashaya, that is contaminated consciousness. Then rasaswad, that means we still have taste for mundane pleasures. So these are certain final stages in this whole process. Let me just go through this. Yeah. So Kashaya means, like, we have the tendency to indulge in anger, greed, pride, and other unwanted habits. Rasaswada means we don't absorb ourselves in kirtan or shravan, but rather our mind is more attached for material sense pleasure. So these are the final 5 obstacles. Once we clear all this, that means one, we are rid of all these 4 kinds of anarthas. Sukrito to anartha, sukrito, duskrito, the anarthas arising because of sins, anarthas rising because of past punya, the anarthas because of imperfectly doing bhakti, the anarthas because of aparadha. And then we overcome these other obstacles like laya, vikshepa, apratipatti, kashaya, and rasaswada. Then comes nishtha. So we can see, this whole journey of Bhajanikriya and Anarthanavritti itself is so integrated. It's not so easy. And then after overcoming all this, then we come to nishtha. Like Bhagavatam says, Nashta prayaso bhadreshu nityang bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So this nishtha is actually coming from there, naishtiki bhakti. So 2 kinds of bhakti, anaishtiki bhakti and naishtiki bhakti. So when we are doing Bhajanikriya, the initial stages of Bhajanikriya and Anarthanavritti, there is anaishtiki bhakti. That means bhakti which is not very fixed up. Once we cross this, then we come to the stage of naishtiki bhakti or nishtha. Now in nishtha, again, this is unshakable resolve. But in nishtha also, there are 2 stages. One is tad anukula vastu vartini. So that means we are fixed in bhakti, but still we are attached to some nice, nice kirtan or some particular speaker, he's speaking nicely, I will hear. So that means we are attached to external things. But then comes sakshat bhakti vartini. That means you are attached to the process itself. You don't care for external things. That's 2 parts of nishtha. Then once we cross nishtha, then we come to ruchi. Sorry, here, ruchi is the one I was saying. Vastu, vaishishtya apekshani. That means taste dependent on external excellence. And then after that, you get taste which is not dependent on external excellence. That means anywhere you hear Mahamantra, any tune, you'll get so attached. So that taste for bhajan, ruchi. And then after ruchi, then comes asakti, attachment to Sri Krishna, strong attachment. Just like we have attachment for matter, we'll have attachment for Krishna. And there actually this Bhakti Lata, what happens to Bhakti Lata here? What do you see in the picture?
Bud has come.
Yes, the bud has come. The Bhakti Lata has started budding. Just like in a tree, first you have buds, then flowers, then fruit. So here is the stage of bud, the stage of asana. And then comes bhava. In bhava, this bud turns into flower. So in bhava stage, you actually understand what is your rasa with Krishna. And then finally comes this fruit of Krishna Prema. Whereas situated in our own Swarupa, that means one of our eternal relations with Krishna, we can either be in Shanta Bhav, in Dasya Bhav, in Sakhya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, or Madhurya Bhav. So in this stage, we'll have Sri Krishna Akarshani, that means Krishna himself is attracted, Moksha Laghutakrit, so Moksha becomes insignificant for us. That happens at this stage. So it's a very, very beautiful chart. It actually summarizes the entire process, right from Sradha to Prema. And in a Nectar of Instruction, if you see that how this has been showed very nicely, that text 1 to 3 actually talks about Shraddha. Then text 4 to 6 talks about Sadhu Sangha, that how we associate with devotees, Dadati, Pratiganati, Guyamakshati, Prekshati, how we should respect different grades of devotees, we associate with those who are freed from Ninda, those who are Uttamadhikaris, we should pay obeisances to the Madhyamadhikaris, we should mentally honor others who are chanting Mahamantra. This Sadhu Sangha. Text 7 is actually the crux. That's why I said text 7 is very important. It talks about Bhajanikriya, Anartha-nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi. Everything is in text 7. What is text 7 about? Holy name, right? Syan Krishna Nama Charita Disitapya Vidya. So text 7 talks about chanting holy name. That how initially the holy name is like very bitter. Why? Because our heart is filled with avidya, anarthas. But as we keep on taking the medicine, we progress from bhajan kriya to anartha-nivritti, nishtha, and after that we come to ruchi. So text 7 is the whole process. That means the whole advancement is depending on what? Chanting of the holy names. The more seriously we chant, the more attentively we chant, and we just have to avoid offenses. If we do that, then we can, the whole process of bhajan kriya, anartha-nivritti, nishtha, and ruchi, everything is there in text number 7. And then text number 8 is asakti. When we attach to Krishna's holy names, then what happens? Tan nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Then 24 hours a day, what we will do? We will either chant the holy names of Krishna, we'll remember Krishna's pastimes, or we'll just engage ourselves in the process of bhakti. So therefore, text number 8 is which stage of bhakti?
Nishtha, probably.
No. Text 8 is asakti.
Asakti. Okay.
So bhajan kriya, anartha-nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, everything is text number 7.
Okay, text 7, yeah.
So text 8 is
Asakti.
asakti. Because only when you attach to Krishna, then only you will, this verse. Okay, let me share this. See, text number 7 is about holy name. That initially, so Krishna's holy name is sweet like sugar candy. Krishna's name, character, pastimes, activities. But because we have jaundice of avidya, we cannot taste anything sweet. But by taking these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and the disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Then, when we come to the stage of asakti, then we can utilize 24 hours a day. Tan nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. That's the last verse we did last Sunday. Tan nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smritya kramena rasana manisi niyojya tishthan brajetad anuragi jananugami kalam nayed akhilam iti upadeshasaram. The essence of all advice that one should utilize 24 hours in a day nicely chanting, remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and internal pastimes. Is there anyone in this Zoom group today who can engage his mind 24 hours in Krishna's names, forms, qualities, pastimes? At least I am not in that stage, because that is the stage of asakti. When we are attached to Krishna, like if you remember last time I quoted the words from Rupa Goswami, he says, what does he say? Tunde tandavini vitunate tundavali labhyate kanna kroda kadimbini ghatete kannare spriham. He says that when I chant the one name of these two syllables, Krishna, Krishna iti varnam dvai, I don't know what nectar is in these two letters Krishna. I want thousands of mouths. I want millions of years. That's the stage of asakti. That means you are so much attached to the holy names. You are so much attached to Krishna's form, his pastimes, his dham, that you are fully absorbed in that. And then actually, that is the point where the Raganuga Bhakti starts, where you actually know, okay, in what rasa I want to serve Krishna. And then you start following, like Srila Prabhupada. Let us go to that last purport that we read. in our last class. So Prabhupada in this text number 8, last paragraph, Prabhupada says that yes, so this is called Radhanuga Bhakti, where one becomes spontaneously attached to Krishna and wants to serve Krishna in one of the 5 rasas. So Prabhupada says that if one aspires in Shantarasa, one aspires to be like Krishna's cows or stick or flute in the hands of Krishna, or flowers around Krishna's neck. In Dasya Rasa, one follows the footsteps of servants like Chitrak, Raktak and Patrak. In friendly Sakhya Rasa, one becomes a friend like Baladev, Sridham, Sudam. In Vatsalya Rasa, one can become like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. And in the Madhurya Rasa, one can become like one of the maid servants of Shrimati Radharani, Gopis or Manjaris. So my dear friends, like I told last time also, that right now we are just getting information, but we are struggling right in the first verse of Nectar of Instruction, which is Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Upastha Vegam. So at least, although I am teaching, but to be honest, I am struggling with the first verse of Nectar of Instruction, that is to control the urge of the mind, urge to speak, urge of anger, urge of tongue, belly, genitals. So even the first verse of Nectar of Instruction, I am struggling, but just as a service, I am just presenting to all of you, and we are reading it so that we know what is our goal. At least we know our goal is very high. So at least that much is very clear when we study Nectar of Instruction. So text number 8 talks about Asakti, and then today's verse, which is text number 9, which was supposed to study today. So I thought, let me give a little background till whole process of going from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Bhajanikriya, then Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, then Asakti. And then text number 9 actually talks of Bhava and Prema. So let us read anyway, no problem. For our purification, we will read text number 9 now. Okay. So Vaikuntha Janituvara Madhupuri Tatrapi Rasotsava Vrindaranya Mudara Pani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundam Yahapi Gokulapate Premamrita Plavana Koryadascha Virajato Giritate Sevam Viveki Nakaha. Someone want to recite this? Yes?
Should I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Vaikuntha Janito Varamadhupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavad Vrindaranyam Udara Paniramana Tatrapi Govardhanaha Radha Kundam Vihape Gokulapate Premamrita Plavana Koryadasya Virajato Giritate Sevam Vivekinakaha.
Okay, thank you. Now, someone else can please read the translation. Okay, Madhvi Gauri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Ras Leela pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radhakunda stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakunda, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill?
Yes. So very beautiful verse. So this verse talks about the different holy places, and it tells that how Radhakund is actually one of the very exalted places. So what I'll do is let us first see the chart, how this chapter is, what this verse talks about. Okay, can you see the chart? Okay. So this talks about the hierarchy of the holy places. Okay. So first talks about Vaikuntha. So you know this.
Can you do full screen? It's very small.
It's full screen, I think.
No, just press F5. So it will be.
It was fine, Prabhuji. It was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So Vaikuntha. So we know first Krishna's material world is 1/4 of Krishna's creation. 3/4 is the spiritual world. In spiritual world, we have so many Vaikuntha planets, and that's superior to the material world, of course. That's the spiritual world. But superior to Vaikuntha is Mathura. Although it's in this material world, but this is even superior to Vaikuntha, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came here to perform his pastimes. And in this Mathura, or you can say Braj Mandal, there are 12 forests. And Vrindavan is actually one of them. And Vrindavan is special because Krishna did most of his intimate pastimes in Vrindavan, especially his Rasalila pastimes and other pastimes. Now in Vrindavan forest, the most special place is Govardhan. Why? Because Krishna lifted Govardhan. Udar Pani Ramana, it's there in the verse. Why? Because Udar Pani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana, Krishna lifted with his own hands Govardhan. And he tends the cows in Govardhan, and he has various beautiful pastimes in Govardhan. And within Govardhan, the highest place is Radhakund, which is at the foothill of Govardhan, where love for Krishna overflows, where advanced souls reside, which was rediscovered by Lord Chaitanya himself, and which is very, very dear to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So with this little understanding, let us read the entire verse. It's not a very long purport, rather a short purport. So maybe different devotees can take turns and read one paragraph. So maybe Ekta Mataji, like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. However, Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world because the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared at Mathura. The interior forests of Vrindavan are considered superior to Mathura because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dwadashvan, such as Talavan, Madhuvan, and Bahulavan, which are famous for the various pastimes.
Just 1 minute. So I hope some of you are aware of the 12 names. So we have Yamuna in the middle, and we have 5 forests on the eastern side of Yamuna and 7 forests on the western side of Yamuna. They call Dwadasha Kanan. You know that famous song? Keshi Ghata Vamshi Bhata Dwadasha Kanana Jaha Sab Leela Koilo Shri Nanda Nandana Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana. Okay. Okay, very few devotees have turned on your videos. I request those who have not turned on, kindly turn on your videos, please. Okay, so I hope so far it's clear that we have Vaikuntha, but superior to Vaikuntha is Mathura. Superior to Mathura are the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Within that, Vrindavan is the highest, and within Vrindavan, superior to the divine. Yes, divine Govardhan. Yes, continue from here.
Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura, but superior to these forests in the divine Govardhan hill. Because Krishna lifted Govardhan hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus-like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Braj, from the torrential rains sent by the angry Indra, king of the demigods. It is also at Govardhan hill that Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends, and there also he had his rendezvous
Yes,
with his most beloved Sri Radha and engaged in loving pastimes with her. Radhakund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that the love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radhakund because this place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani. Rati Vilas.
yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, yes, so that's why in the beginning today we started with the whole chart to show that we are stuck somewhere within Bhajanikriya or Anartha Nivritti. And what to speak of Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prem. So this Radhakund, who is qualified to recite? The devotees who have actually, Prabhupada says, advanced devotees, especially devotees who have attained the stage of Bhava. So let's okay, so first I want to show you a little bit of Braj Mandal, the 12 forest of Braj. So can you all see this picture? So here you can see Yamuna ji is flowing, and on the east side of Yamuna we have 5 forests: Bhandiravan, Bhadravan, Bilvavan, Lohovan and Mahavan. So these are the 5 forests on the right side. So Mahavan is basically Gokul, Raval and all those places. And in Bhandiravan we have a nice place where Krishna killed, Balram killed Pralambasur and many places. We have Mansarovar, etc. Then we have Bilvavan, where Lakshmi Devi is still performing austerities. Then we have this Yamuna river. And then Vrindavan. Actually, Vrindavan is the biggest forest. You can see Vrindavan forest is right from Govardhan till Yamuna. This entire area is actually Vrindavan forest. From Nandagaon till Nandagaon, Barsana. So Vrindavan is the biggest out of these 12 forests. This is entire. So Vrindavan is not the present town Vrindavan. That's a small part. This entire region from, you can see here. Can you see the cursor moving?
Yes,
Can you see? Yeah, so this is actually Govardhan, you can see. Unchdi, Radhakund, right? So this is Govardhan. So Govardhan to Yamuna, this entire region is Vrindavan, which covers even Nandagaon and Barsana. Then there are other forests like we have Kamyavan, we have Khadiravan, we have Madhuvan, Kumudavan, Talavan, then Bahulavan. So these are the forests on the western side of Jamuna. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now within this 12 forests, Vrindavan is superior, and within Vrindavan, Govardhan is the highest. Why? Because Krishna did many beautiful pastimes in Govardhan, and within the Govardhan, you can see Radhakund is the highest. So is this hierarchy clear at least?
Yes, Prabhu.
So Prabhu, Nidhivan is one of the Bana or it's part of Vrindavan?
No, Nidhivan is part of Vrindavan. Like that, there are many smaller Upavanas. So Nidhivan is a small part of Vrindavan. So it's not one of the 12 forests. So let us see some pictures to remind us of this wonderful pastime of Krishna. Oh, what happened? Okay. So this is Krishna lifting Govardhan hill, right? With his own lotus hand, Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill. Beautiful pictures. All the cowherd boys, they came. And let's have Darshan of Giriraj. Let us see. So this is the real, this is the Govardhan visible now. Bolo Giriraj Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
So this is Govardhan, another view. So the Shila, so this is Govardhan Shila. So we take this, the stones of Govardhan are very special. We worship them in a temple. This is Govardhan Shila. Okay. And let us now finally have darshan of Radhakund. Shri Radhakund Sham Kund ki jai.
Jai.
So you can see various pictures. This is an aerial view. So you can see Sham Kund, and this is Radhakund. Now, which is Radhakund? The bigger one, the rectangular one, or the other one with irregular shape?
The rectangular one is Radhakund.
Okay, so I'll tell you a nice story. Once I heard that why Radhakund is so nicely made, you know, like a rectangle, and Shamkund is really irregular, teda meda, you know, it's irregular. Why? So one nice devotee once he said that you see, Srimati Radharani is very simple, straightforward. So her kund is also very simple, like a rectangle. But Krishna is very crooked, bent in 3 places, and always, you know, little crooked. Therefore, his kund is also very crooked shape, irregular shape. So that's Radhakund and Shamkund. So let us offer our obeisances to Radhakund, Shamkund. These are some more pictures of Radhakund. You can see here, you can see the Sangam, you know, Radhakund, Shamkund, Sangam. Are you able to have darshan? Yes? Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We have Darshan.
Radhakund. On our left side here, right side is Shamkund. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Mana Ramakunda Radha So we just had darshan of Radhakund, Shamkund, Giriraj Maharaj. Okay. Okay, now let us move ahead with our purport. Next, who would like to read? Okay, Sachin Prabhu. Yeah, can you please read? Sachin Prabhu. Okay, Bhavak. Yes, please read.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, it is stated that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the area of Rajbhumi, he could not at first find the location of Radhakund. This means that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually searching for the exact location of Radhakund. Finally, he found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. He took his bath in that small pond and told his devotees that the actual Radhakund was situated there. Later, the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya's devotees, headed first by the 6 Goswamis, such as Rup and Raghunath Das. Presently, there is a large lake known as Radhakund there. Srila Rup Goswami has given much stress to Radhakund because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Who then would give up Radhakund and try to reside elsewhere? No person with transcendental intelligence would do so. The importance of Radhakund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas, nor can persons uninterested in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. Thus, Radhakund is mainly worshipped by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hari Bol, Radha Kund ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So I'll just tell you a little story of how actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he discovered Radha Kund. So I'm sure all of you are aware that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he came to Jagannath Puri. In fact, he took sannyas on the day of Makar Sankranti, which just 5-6 days back at Makar Sankranti. On that day, he left Navdeep. He took sannyas. He was staying in Jagannath Puri. He was dancing in Rath Yatra, doing nice Sankirtan. And then he desired to go to Vrindavan. So he tried a few times to go to Vrindavan, and many times he failed to actually go to Vrindavan. Then finally, he went to Vrindavan in the year, who knows, in which year Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan? Anybody knows? No one? Really? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan in 1589. Wrong, actually. Mahaprabhu he appeared in 1486. At the age of 24, he took sannyas, that is 1510. Then 1515, he came to Vrindavan. Right? He just stayed for 2 months in Vrindavan. We can see nice pictures how Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan. He was, he embraced the Govardhan Shila, and so he was in full ecstasy when he was in Vrindavan. And then finally, he actually wanted to discover Radhakund and Shyamkund. So, but people didn't know during those days where is Radhakund, where is Shyamkund. It was hidden from the world. So Mahaprabhu asked people, and he came to a village known as Arita Gram. Because you see, Radhakund, Shyamkund, I'm sure you must have heard the story that how they were created. Because when Krishna killed Aristasur, who came in the form of a bull, so the gopis, they told Krishna, now you have killed a bull, you have committed a great sin. You must atone and you must take bath in all the holy places. So Krishna, he dug a small hole with his lotus feet and invited all the holy places. So all the holy places came and formed a nice kund called Shyama. And then Krishna took bath and he was purified. He said, look, I am now purified. But you have also taken sinful reaction because you have taken side of a demon. So now you should also take bath in all the holy places. So Krishna said, no problem, take bath in my kund. But Radharani and Gopis, what they told? No. Your kund is a little dirty with your sin. So why will we take bath in your kund? We'll make our own kund. And then Srimati Radharani and all the Gopis started making their own kund. And they brought water from Mansi Ganga to fill that kund. But then all these holy places like Mother Ganga, Yamuna, all the holy places, they personally came and offered obeisances to Radharani and told that please give us an opportunity to serve you. And then Radharani smiled. And then all the holy places, they came from Shyamkund to Radhakund. So that's the story of Radhakund, Shyamkund. Of course, they're eternal place of Krishna's pastimes. So therefore, is connected to Aristasur. Therefore, Mahaprabhu came to the village known as Arita Grama. So you could understand, of course, Mahaprabhu is Krishna, he knows. So in Arita Grama, he asked people, are there in pond here? People said, no, there is very small, tiny little water bodies where people, they grow rice. So then Mahaprabhu, he understood that this is Radhakund and Shyamkund. It was called Shyama Gauri Kund and Kali Kund, something like that. Very two small puddles of water were there. And Mahaprabhu, with great ecstasy, he took bath there. It was rice paddy field. Mahaprabhu applied tilak. So that was a very beautiful pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he discovered Radhakund there, and he told, this is Radhakund. And he offered very beautiful prayers in glorification of Radhakund and Shyamkund. So Srila Prabhupada explains that why Rupa Goswami is giving so much stress to Radhakund, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he discovered Radhakund Shyamkund. So he's showing personally that how Radhakund is so special. We'll read in the 10th verse tomorrow, a nice verse in glorification of Radhakund. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnus Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopeshu Saiveka Vishnu and Atyanta Vallabha. So just like Srimati Radharani is the dearmost devotee of Krishna, her bathing place is also very dear to Krishna. So Radhakund is very, very special place. So although we don't have qualification to actually even have darshan of Radhakund, but by the mercy of Vaishnavas, we can always go to Radhakund and at least do Achman. So even having darshan of Radhakund will be purified. Yes, we'll discuss about taking bath or not taking bath in Radhakund. That's a big subject matter of discussion. Actually, okay, let me since this question has come out, so I'll just clarify this. So see, there is no, it's not an offense to take bath in Radhakund. If I have seen some senior devotees in ISKCON also taking bath. So if we pay obeisances in a respectful mood, we take bath in Radhakund, that is okay. The problem is if you try to enjoy it, just like we take bath in some water body, we splash water and enjoy, that's aparadha. What happened actually is in the 70s, when some Srila Prabhupada disciples, they came to Radhakund, they started swimming in Radhakund, just like a swimming pool. And then when this news came to Srila Prabhupada, then he got upset. He said, these people don't realize the importance of Radhakund, so I'm giving order, nobody should take bath in Radhakund. So it is from that perspective, because once you don't know how to take bath properly, but with the permission of some senior devotees, if respectfully we take bath, there is no harm. And of course, taking Achman is also as good as taking bath. So safer side is just we go and take 3 drops of water in Radhakund and pray to Srimati Radharani. That's more important. Okay. So now let's have some discussions and question answers. So today we saw the whole journey from Sradha to Prema, and we discussed in brief something from Madhurya Kadimbini. Now some of you want, you can always, there's some online copies also you'll find on the internet. If you want, you can go through that. So this is Madhurya Kadimbini. We discussed a little bit in brief. And then we studied text number 9. This book written by Vishwanath Chakravarti. And text number 9, we studied the glories of Radhakund. We saw that how, let me look at that chart once again. So we saw that how the hierarchy of holy places, that Vaikuntha is superior to material world, but even superior to Vaikuntha is this Mathura Mandal. Within Mathura Mandal, there are 12 forests. So Vrindavan is the most special. In Vrindavan, we have Govardhan, which is more special, and Radhakund is the highest place. So basically, Radhakund is the highest place in the entire existence of Krishna. Imagine. In the entire existence of the Lord, Radhakund is the highest place. And by the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada and his followers, we have come to, at least we know about Radhakund. We can go and have darshan of Radhakund. So how fortunate we are. Okay, so any questions, comments, please? Bhavagrai Prabhu, you have any questions, comments?
No, Prabhuji. I don't have any questions and comments. Thank you.
Okay, then I'll ask you some questions. So, I mean, the stages were clear to you, Prabhu? The Madhurya Kadimbini, what we showed?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Of course, I mean, as I said, it's a full course in itself. So I just gave a short glimpse of what are the different stages. So this is what, once again, just to recap. So we showed that how this Bhakti Lata is planted in our heart by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, by the mercy of Vaishnavas. And then we do sadhu sangha, and then we do Bhajanikriya. We saw different stages of Bhajanikriya. Utsamai, Ghanatarala, Vyudha Vikalpa. Initially we have a lot of enthusiasm, then it starts dwindling. Sometimes we practice nicely, sometimes we can't. Then we are very much confused and we struggle with sense enjoyment, Vishaya, Sangara. Then we have Niyamakshama. That means we take up some vows and we are not able to hold that. Taranga Rangini, that is very dangerous. We try to enjoy the mundane benefits of bhakti. Then we talked about anarthas, arising due to sin, arising due to pious activities, arising due to imperfectly performing bhakti, and apradukta, anarthas. Then we talked about this liar, drowsiness, distraction, etc. And then once we cross all this, we come to nishtha, and then we come to ruchi, then we come to asakti. Asakti is where we become attached to Krishna, and there the buds start blossoming in the tree of Bhaktilata, and then bhava means the flowers, and then finally comes the fruit, which is Krishna Prema. So in the 8th verse actually we saw is the stage of asakti, and then from asakti to bhava etc. has been talked in, asakti has been spoken in text number 8, and 9th verse we have bhava and prema, where we start appreciating the importance of Radhakant and all that.
So, Prabhuji, I have, as you said, one thing is, and that's basically happens to me all the time, Prabhuji. I mean, normally there is no thoughts in the mind and nothing, and as soon as you put your hand in the bid bag and just count it, immediately it starts. What I have to do the next, what is my planning? It's just the whole calendar comes up right there, and once you take the hand out, the calendar is gone. So, how to outcome there, Prabhuji? All the thoughts and everything comes right that time. Besides that, and when as soon as you chant it, whether it's any time of the day, you start chanting, all those thoughts comes out, and it's very hard to, try to tell your mind, hey, you shouldn't do this, but it always happens. So what is the best way to outcome those thoughts or all those in the minds and chant offenseless?
So Bhavagraipu, let me tell you, you are not the only one going through this. We all go through this stage. So we are all struggling in this Anartha Nivritti stage. So what it requires is actually therefore Shravanam. So therefore when we hear such classes, we hear the glories of holy name, we hear about the different steps of bhakti. So at least we develop a desire that, okay, let me chant seriously now. So at least that desire is there, because sometimes if you don't hear such things, then it can just become part of our routine. Okay, I just have to complete 60 rounds anyhow, let the mind go wherever it is. That's okay, that's better than not chanting, but then we have to go higher than that. So we have to gradually come to the stage of more attentive chanting. So the first step is we hear about the glories of chanting, we hear about the process of bhakti like we heard today, different stages of bhakti. Nectar of Instruction, this verse we talks about that if we carefully chant the holy name, then we'll get ruchi for holy name. So when we hear all these instruction, we feel a motivation to do that. And we can take practical steps, like a very nice japa workshop by I've attended once by his Bhurijan Prabhu, is a very senior disciple of Prabhupada, and also Sachinandan Maharaj. So I've attended a few times japa workshop conducted by them. So they tell a very simple formula. They said, give the mind a simple target. Let me hear one mantra. A very simple target. Sometimes you'll be surprised we chant for 1 hour and we don't even hear one mantra. Is it true, Bhavagraipu?
Very true, Prabhuji, very true.
So therefore he says, start with simple target. Okay, let me at least hear one mantra now. So can we all try? Just try to hear this one mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. You see, when to hear one mantra, we require struggle. We have to just keep our mind, okay, let me hear one mantra, So this is one thing that he says, keep the target small. Here, so this is actually first step is the most crucial. Because when you hear more about the importance of chanting, the importance of bhakti, we hear Bhagavatam. So what happens is our spiritual intelligence becomes strong, right? And through that we can control the mind, and naturally the mind becomes attracted to Krishna. So therefore hearing is very important. Hearing about the importance of chanting, that makes our spiritual intelligence strong. And then we do some practical steps, like I said. First is at least chant in the morning. At least the mind is little calm compared to other time of the day. And try to hear one mantra. Another one or two tips that is given is that sometimes the mind is very restless. We can look at a picture of Krishna, or we can read the Mahamantra. Some devotees may have seen, they keep this mantra cards. Even I keep sometimes, in the chanting bag, like a mantra card where you actually read Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That helps. So these are some of the other practical tips that are there. But of course, the only actual solution is that if we come to the stage of ruchi, then naturally this will stop. Like the problem, this is in anartha nivritti, right? We have this stage of vikshepa. It's called distraction. But once we come to the stage of nishtha and ruchi, then there'll be no more distraction. Then my mind will be fully focused in chanting. Will be so much attached to chanting. That's the stage of ruchi. So, but anyway, now we are struggling with anarthas and anartha nivritti stage. But still, if you try, then definitely we'll overcome this. But if you don't try and we just say that chalne do aisa chalta hai, then also we'll overcome one day, but it will take long time. That's the problem. So please, all of you try to understand. See, bhakti process is the most highest process, and we'll definitely make progress if we chant. But now we are asking whether we want to accelerate the process or go very slow. That is up to us. So if you want to accelerate the process, then we should put extra endeavor, right? But if you want to go very slow, then it's okay, no problem. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Yes, I can see Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, in Bhajanikriya, you told that Ghana Tarala, thick and thin practice. Initially, we are practicing 16 rounds chanting daily, but after a few months, the rounds will be decreased. At that time,
Yes.
what we can do, Prabhuji? Strong conviction ke liye.
Yeah, see, the solution is sadhu sangha. As I said, the solution is sadhu sangha, hearing about bhakti, again becoming fixed. So it's just that we have to, what it shows is that this is how the stages we go through. But the process is the same. Hearing, chanting. The water for bhakti is the same, hearing and chanting. Same thing we have to do again and again. Okay, therefore sadhu sangha. So the process is simple. In sadhu sangha, we do shravan and kirtan. As we keep on doing that, you will see we'll go through all these different stages. Is it clear? So as we keep on pouring, shravan, kirtan, jal, and in sadhu, you can see sadhu sangha is all throughout this stem. Sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha. So as we keep watering this seed, so naturally we'll go through all these stages. So everyone has gone through Ghana Tarala. It's not you. But after Ghana Tarala, then we'll come to Vyudha Vikalpa. After that, we'll come to Vishaya Sangara. That means in Vishaya Sangara, we are studying 16 rounds, but still we are struggling with sense enjoyment. Thoughts of sense enjoyment are coming in the mind. And you will see those devotees are practicing for some years. Then as you become preachers, the next is Taranga Rangini. You want to enjoy the fruits. People will come and give you donation. People will appreciate you and all that. Right? So there are different stages. And for every stage, we just keep on doing Shravan Kirtan in association of devotees. Then we can cross over that and come to the next stage. Okay, Riya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Jan Pranam. I have two questions. So, in this horizontal line, suppose someone is on the fifth one in the horizontal line which you showed just now. So, can we come back to the fourth one, or it is just forward? I mean, we always move forward towards the next stage.
That's a good question. Um, it is said in Bhakti, we don't come backward, but there's a pause. We stop. Like for some reasons, when we are very offensive, then we may stop at that stage. And the progress become very slow. And also another problem they say is that when we do aparadh, we lose all taste for chanting. So that's why it's a very risky thing, because of aparadh, whatever little taste we have now, let's say even if you have 1 or 2% taste for chanting, that will also go away to do aparadh. So therefore, aparadh is the biggest danger in the path of bhakti. And as long as we are avoiding aparadh, then we can keep on progressing from one stage to another, keep on doing our steady practice of Krishna consciousness.
Okay, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, secondly, as you said that there is a stage wherein we take vows, but we are not able to follow them. So, not following the vows we have taken, so will it also add to the offense list and affect
No,
our...
see, offense, not at any simple thing we do is offense. No. That is not offense. Just taking a vow, not doing, that is not offense. Offense means, like I said, we maybe really try to harm a devotee, when we are criticizing someone, blaspheming someone, or we are, just doing sinful activity left and right and thinking that, I'm doing chanting, my sinful activities will be washed away. Such things are called aparadh.
Okay,
But it's not that I vowed to chant 32 rounds today, I chanted 20, that's aparadh. No, that's not aparadh. I mean, Krishna is happy, at least you made a vow. So there is no mistake in making a vow. But yes, it's better that we make vow as per our capacity. And we should not make a vow, okay, I'll chant 64 rounds every day. We're struggling to chant 16. What is speak of 64? Increase gradually. Okay, 16 now.
Because in my case, what happened?
So
One of Prabhupada's disciples. So if some senior devotee has told us to chant a specific number of rounds, but we are not able to do that. So in that case, won't it?
Okay, so that's a good question. But again, for what reasons we are not able to do that? If you're trying, then it's not an offense. If you are simply neglecting that order, he has told, let him tell. He's a mad person, how he has given such a thing. Then it's an offense. But sincerely we are trying, and because of some reasons not to, that's not an offense.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
So like rounds, many times devotees ask this question. So I have seen practically, and I've also spoken to some senior devotees, that it's not possible to increase a round, abruptly. So it is a gradual process. So first we're doing 16 now, and Prabhupada always say minimum 16. Right? So if you want, we can increase from 16 to 20, 20 to 24, or one devotee gave a nice suggestion. Every year increase one round. Chanting 16, next year 17, then 18, then 19, then 20, 21, like that. So in 20 years, you can go from 16 to 26, like that. So like that, I mean, we cannot do it drastically, but so let us at least come to the stage of doing 16 rounds nicely, steadily, and whenever possible, we should increase our rounds. Okay, Madhvi Gauri Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was willing to ask that there is a kind of overlapping in these stages, 9 stages.
Okay, like for example?
Like for example, at times we feel that we are really enthusiastic, but at the same time, for certain things, our basic faith or Shraddha is really very light or very komal Shraddha we have. So that kind of fluctuation is seen at the same time. So what kind of, I personally feel that there is some kind of overlapping. It's not that we are passed on one stage, then we go on to another, then we pass. Some kind of bit of overlapping is there whenever we are.
Yeah, that may be there, but more or less this is there. And again, see, Shraddha is not that Shraddha and Sadhu Sangha are there throughout. Like Shraddha keeps on increasing. So this Shraddha talk of initial Shraddha, the awakening of faith. So Shraddha keeps on becoming stronger and stronger. So what you're talking about Ghana Tarala means our Shraddha is not that strong. Therefore, sometimes you're practicing nicely, sometimes you don't practice. Right? That's actually weakness of heart, Hridaya Daurbalya. So that means that's one of the initial stages of Bhajanikriya. So to quite a bit of extent, this is quite systematic and scientific. Maybe some overlap is there. That's okay.
And Prabhuji, also that means that basically rising from Shraddha to Prem is basically that we are increasing our faith, and at time and along with the faith proportionately our surrender is also increasing.
Yes, exactly. So when we say Shraddha means initial Shraddha. So it's not that Prem Shraddha is not there. Prem Shraddha is the maximum. So as we are growing, the Shraddha is increasing. Yes, and surrender is also increasing. Absolutely right. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, that's all. I was expecting a lot of questions today. Today we discussed a very tough subject matter, madhurya kadimbini. So looks like either you have not understood anything or you have understood everything. I don't know what is which of the two is true. I don't know.
So Prabhuji, it seems like so far everything seems so out of reach.
Yes, but at least if you have a goal, we'll work towards reaching that goal. If you don't have a goal itself, then there will be no impetus for bhakti. So at least we have a goal and we know that we are very behind from the goal. That should motivate us to be more serious in bhakti. The purpose is not to dishearten us, no, rather to make us more serious. That a long way to go now. We should not think. Normally, devotees sometimes they feel that's it. I'm now chanting 16 rounds. I've taken initiation, first initiation, second initiation. Now I'm done. No, we have a long way to go. We can see in this tree. So this is the whole purpose is to motivate us more to take to the path of bhakti more seriously. You are right. You're getting a right realization. We have a long way to go.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Therefore, we must become more and more serious in bhakti. That's it. Kalyani Mataji, no questions. Achal Krishna Prabhu, I think you have reached Bhava stage.
One question is there.
So, Achal, that means you admitted you have reached Bhava stage, right?
No. I'm not admitting that.
Okay.
Just one question I'm want to ask. Like we have learned that there are three kind of devotees, like Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. So this Uttam Adhikari falls on which category? Like in this Nishtha, Bhava, or Prema? Is how we can able to judge that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, as we studied in the last classes also, that Madhyam Adhikari means he is steady, he is doing Bhajanikriya seriously. That's a Madhyam Adhikari. So Uttam Adhikari is Nishtha onwards. So Prabhupada explains in that purport also, if you remember carefully. So at least Uttam Adhikari means he has at least attained the stage of Nishtha. So from here onwards, you can Uttam like that. Understood?
Yes,
so he is Nishtha. So that's the starting point of Uttam Adhikari. And someone may be even a better Uttam Adhikari. Even maybe better. So after Nishtha, you have Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. But the beginning of Uttam Adhikari stages, you have attained Nishtha.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Prabhuji, in the stage of Sadhu Sangha, it is said two qualities of Bhakti manifest, that is Subhada, Klesagni and Subhada.
Yes.
So, what kind of klesagna is it? Material miseries or here it is listed out some avidya and all that you will explain.
Yes.
But so all the material miseries are mitigated or what?
Yes, that's a good thing. So you see, sometimes material miseries are mitigated, and sometimes they may not, because sometimes Krishna gives more material miseries to make us serious in bhakti. So here, therefore, in the 5 things it is said the cause of klesha. What is the cause of the suffering? Avidya, asmita, raga. So it basically bhakti works to cure the root cause of suffering, maybe not suffering itself. Understand the difference? You see, the reason, the root cause of misery is what? Sin. And why we do sin? Because of avidya, ignorance, because of false ego, asmita, because of raga, because of attachment to material things, because of dvesha. Krishna says ichha raga. What is that 7th chapter Krishna says? Krishna says in 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So this raga, dvesha. So these are the causes of misery. So even at the sadhu sangha level, bhakti destroys all these causes of misery. Okay, and brings
why
in.
this Raganuga Bhakti is written there?
Yeah, that is something I was expecting somebody may question. So what it says is, actually you can see the leaf is turned a little bit. Can you see?
Yes, the Vaidhi and
yeah. So what it says is that if you look at a leaf has 2 sides. Leaf has a smooth side and a rough side, right? So it is just compared that the smooth side is Raganuga Bhakti, the rough side is Vaidhi Bhakti. That means initially rules and regulations we find it tough to follow. So that's what it's called. That's a different way of looking at it. So same bhakti, process of bhakti, there's 2 aspects. In Raganuga, it's very smooth, it's very simple, it's better. But the same bhakti in the Vaidhi stage, a little rough.
So can one attend Raganuga Bhakti only in Sadhu Sangha stage?
No, that is actually, you see in this picture, you cannot capture everything in a picture, right? So this, in the book, it just says that another way of looking at this Bhaktilata creeper is that the leaf has 2 sides. So the smooth side is Raganuga and the rough side is Vaidhi. So probably in the diagram, instead of showing this here, they could have shown somewhere here, but it's okay. I mean,
okay. So who is the translator of the book that you have now, Madhurya Kadamini's?
Bhanuswami.
Okay, Bhanuswami. So that hard copy is not available, only Kindle edition is available.
Okay, you looked in the internet. This in Vrindavan, it's available hard copy. So if you want, okay. But yeah, Kindle edition is available, so you can share the link on the chat box. Devotees want, they can take this.
There
but
is
anyway,
another book available. Yes.
Yeah. See, I also have not. I mean, this. Let me tell you, first time I came across this book was some 15 years back. So that time I read a little bit, and now I have read for this class a little bit. I wanted to tell you all. So it's not that I have gone through this book very technically, and it's not very important to understand this technical details. But yes, one realization that Mataji said is that at least we should get to know that we have a long way to go, and that's one realization. Second is that the danger of aparadh, that is something very we should really understand. And also this we can actually see our stage where we are, and Taranga Rangini, that is also something those who are little senior and those who are preaching, we can see that this is a very big obstacle in bhakti also, that when we get some side effects of bhakti, and if you are satisfied with that, if you start enjoying that, then our progress will stop at that stage. We cannot go further. So these are some things that are takeaways, at least for me, from this book. And as our Bhavagrahi Prabhu told that at least we must make an attempt to cross over the stage of Vikshepa, Laya and Vikshepa. So either we are sleeping in the chanting time or we are distracted. So these both are very dangerous. So this is like a mirror, it shows where we are. So at least it will make us humble that, oh, I'm still struggling in Anartha Nivritti, I have a long way to go. So in that sense, this book is useful, yeah. And Srila Prabhupada also, this 9 stages, he talks in Bhagavad Gita. I think in 4th chapter, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada talks about the 9 stages of bhakti. And in Nectar of Devotion also, Rupa Goswami mentions this 9 stages of bhakti. So this Madhurya Kadimbini is more technical analysis, in depth of the 9 stages of bhakti.
Yeah, I think that is brought from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu mostly.
Yes. So the original verse is that verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu only. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajanikriya Tato Anartha Nivrittisya Tato Nishtha Ruchistata. That is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that has been elaborated and further analyzed.
And also symptoms of bhakti, that
and sub stages in every category has been given by Vishwanath Chakravarti. Okay, so if there are no further questions, then we can end now, and tomorrow evening we'll meet again, and hopefully tomorrow we'll complete 10th and 11th verses, and on Sunday we can have a Kahoot quiz. This Sunday, Abhay Chaitanya, are you making questions?
Yeah, I have finished making questions. I sent it to Sarvai Kurang Prabhu, so he will translate it to Hindi.
In fact, sir also did a quiz. I sent him that quiz. Remember, in 2020 he had an online class on Nectar of Instruction.
Yes.
So this time our quiz master is Abhay Chaitanya Prabhu and Sarvai Prabhu combined. So this Sunday, so all of you want a Kahoot quiz on Sunday?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So this Sunday will be a Kahoot quiz. So this will clarify our concepts and some doubts. And on coming Sunday, on 30th will be our closed book exam. Okay. And the good news for our English speaking group is that from February 4th, we'll start with our English Bhagavata module 1. And His Grace Jila Pushpan Prabhu has agreed to take Bhagavad Gita first module. So it'll be very nice. Okay, so thank you all very much.
Tomorrow quiz is only 4 to 8 verse, or?
Not tomorrow, Sunday.
Sunday.
I mean, all